Hey mamas, it's Kia. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 2 art projects using natural elements as a catalyst for your healing journey. I'll also be explaining why art projects are just as powerful as crystals for your healing. And stick around, because at the end of the video, I'll be sharing with you a list of 10 natural items that you can use to jumpstart your next healing art project, and that's starting now. There's really no wrong way to go about doing this. It's honestly about setting the intention and the space that you give it. Pick up your shell, your rock, your branch, leaf, whatever it is you choose to work with. That's something from nature. So I'm choosing to prime my pieces today with white paint. This is actually gesso paint. You can use acrylic. Gesso is pretty much just a primer that I got for my canvases. But you don't have to purchase or prime your pieces if you don't want to. I just chose to because I want my colors to really pop. I'm probably going to be using sky blue and yellow, as those are my favorites. You can also choose to, use colors that resonate with you, or if it's a certain season, you want to do, bright colors for the spring or more mustards and yellows for the fall, you can do that too. There's really no wrong way to go about doing this. For those of you guys that don't know, this is a sea biscuit. So a lot of people are familiar with the flat version of this, which is the sand dollar. And the sea biscuit is actually an exoskeleton from sea urchin. So if you look at the underside, you can see the mouth, the butt, and they actually come in different shapes, which is why I thought it was so cool, because I found another one months after I found this first one that had this kind of like frangipani shape, and I'd never seen it with this shape before, so that was new for me, but I thought that was really cool. And this one has the hole in a different place, so that's interesting. I'm not like, a marine biologist or something like that, but I thought it was really neat. Obviously, you can use whatever you have in your area. Jude and I just happen to go to the beach a lot and do a lot of shell collecting and beach cleanup and things like that. And so this is just some of the finds that we've had over the last 3 years. Another thing to note is that I found these rocks on the beach, but I still did wash them off before I started painting, and that was more so because I didn't want to get my brushes dirty or to get dirt in the paint. And they had been sitting outside on my patio, so with just like wind kicking up dust and stuff like that. So I chose to wash all of the rocks and items before I brought them out here today. Before I even had the YouTube channel, I've been saying this for a while now, and they've been sitting on my patio. So I'm kind of actually glad that I have the time or that I'm creating the time rather, to do art again, because I found that I've been really advocating art healing for the last few years, and I'm sure a lot of moms get this if you guys have hobbies that you're trying to turn into business or anything like that. I, put up the website, and I was writing blogs or articles on Medium and doing all the Instagram stuff, and, spending so much time doing all of the back end of a business that I wasn't really actually getting to create art anymore. And so art went from something that I was doing really just as a place to hold my sanity in 2017 at the end of my marriage, to being something that I was really using as a saving grace. And then as I was like, I would love to actually invite women here to the Bahamas. I've been having it on my heart to start a retreat company. And as I was trying to put that together, I was like, oh my God, wouldn't it be so cool if we could actually focus on art? So it'll still be, I love the outdoors, I love the ocean. So of course, if you come to the Bahamas, you want to go to the beach and all this stuff. So it's definitely going to still be kayaking and a day trip to a neighboring island by boat and all this fun stuff. But I wanted to incorporate art healing into the mix. And so that's when I went on this like, oh my God, I'm going to start blogging about it and do this and do that. And I just found myself like, oh my God, a month has gone by and I've not gotten to paint anything yet. And in addition to that, I've actually been putting my art in some exhibits, and I think I'm going to stop that because I'd rather share the benefits of art healing. Primary for me, it's a healing tool, and it's a sacred space where I just create that and carve out that time for myself, because I found I really lost myself in this like identity of what a mom is, where I was just like, I had to like make that time, okay, when I'm eating my food and when I'm creating my art, like that's my sacred space, and that's when you're not going to interrupt me to wipe your butt or anything like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have any like passion projects that you're working on. I really enjoy cooking, but once again, it's just too hard to find the time to do it all, and like I'm horrible at doing the food prep, so I'm normally, and you don't need a thick layer if you choose to prime it. You could also, if you choose, prime, and priming is a part of the process, so don't look at it like, oh my god, this is this thing I have to do before I paint. Priming is still a part of the process. You don't want to rush the brush, else you'll spill the paint, is a saying. So just enjoy the process. And you could even do it where you just get a bunch of natural materials and prime them, and that's just like your Saturday. Like, okay, today's project, I'm gonna just prime these 10 rocks, and then over the course of several weeks you pick a rock every Saturday to devote as the thing that you do. And if you do that, definitely take some pictures and show me. Tag me on Instagram at Mommas Healing, because I would love to see what you're coming up with. Yeah, the funniest thing, because I've been uploading videos for Mommas Healing weekly now, and I have my little schedule of when I want to add this video, and I was like, okay, this week I'm either going to talk about how music really can be used to amplify the healing experience, or I'm going to, what was the other one again? Oh, do an Amazon like art haul of like some boxes I just got from Amazon, right, of products for art healing and stuff. And I like had both of those lined up to go, and then I woke up this morning, I was like, you know what, I feel like painting. And like I said, I haven't been getting to do enough painting since doing all of the like administrative work for Mommas Healing, and I think I'm choosing the videos as a medium now because Instagram's a lot of work. Like, I put a lot of effort into the captions I do and all that stuff, and I just feel like it's so staged sometimes that I would rather do it where you guys can actually interact with me, see how the painting process works, see how easy and quick it is, right? Because a lot of the projects I do are like 15, 20 minutes, 40 minutes might be like on a long day, and that's hardly ever. So a lot of the projects I'm going to be showing you on this channel are things that you can really do while your kids are eating dinner or watching a show, and you can just get some private time and really do something that's healing rather than you binge watching Netflix or just scrolling, or you know what I mean. Like, let's create. We all have something that we can teach, and I'm just trying to share that message, man. So yeah, I'm gonna let these dry, and then I will come back and get some actual color on these. So stick around. So we're still here. So I'll let you guys in on a little secret. The beauty and the power of art healing is that you don't honestly need some art guru to tell you what the deal is. Like, the power of it is like such a psychological thing, because you get this quick win by just doing the art. Especially if you're a person that goes, oh, I can't paint. I have, people tell me that all the time, like, oh, well, you're creative, I'm not creative, so art healing wouldn't work for me. And the beauty of it is, like, once you create, it's almost like you unleash this superpower where you're just kind of like, whoa, I didn't know I could do that. And if you really think about it, some of these like famous paintings and Picasso and all this stuff, like, they weren't really centered around realism, right? They were doing these really abstract pieces, and now look where their art is, right? So I'm not saying to create art so you can be in a gallery or anything like that. It's very much just about creating that time for yourself. But I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed with what you create. In fact, I'm sure, which is what has happened with me, and I said it in one of my first videos, I think, where I said, like, from doing art, I actually was like, whoa, I find such peace when I paint, right? Like, what else gives me this joy? And I was like, whoa, when I garden, I feel that sense of peace and joy and pride. And so I've been getting into gardening. It also made me go like, whoa, when else do I feel so just enamored with life and with the world? And I'm like, oh, when I'm on the water. And so this summer I invested in a stand-up paddle board so I can get more time doing the things that I love. And that all really started when I started sketching in 2017, because before that I was just so lost in my marriage and, you know, being a mom. My son was 3 and I felt like I had no hobbies. Like, I honestly didn't know what I enjoyed doing. Everything just revolved around my son and the family. And, like, you know, I mean, if I got a night off, I was probably just gonna watch a movie on Netflix or try to read a book with some wine. And take that time to create something. Obviously, you're watching this on your phone right now, more than likely, so I'm not saying don't be on your phone. I'm not saying, like, let go of your Netflix subscription or anything silly like that, but just create those pockets of time. I think we've been on here now with me painting for like 20 minutes, and obviously if I wasn't creating a video for YouTube, this would have been done way quicker. As soon as the paint dries, I put another layer on, right? So I really do urge you to take that time to create art. I'll put a link in the description where you can access some information directly to my Google Slides, my Google Drive, that I'll have some book recommendations, and I'll also put a video I did on that in the description below as well. So this is where I'm at right now. So my phone's actually about to die. I do want to tell you about how this process is just as powerful as using crystals. So I'm gonna get my phone charged up. I'm gonna tell you how this works with the whole, like, alternative to crystals thing, and then I have 10 items for you that you can use in your next art project that are based on natural materials. Okay, mamas, the power's back on and I'm back in the lab. Switch gears and talk about why nature and art are just as powerful as using crystals on your healing journey. I'm still going to complete my sea biscuit art project, but I don't want to waste any more time on that because I upload videos every weekend, and it's already, as you can see, the sun is setting on Sundays, so I gotta power through it now. So if you want to see the completed art project, you can check that out on my Instagram. I'll put a post in it and probably do a story and save that to my highlights as well. And so that's going to be found at Mama's Healing. This is really how this whole video got started. A few days ago, I found it on Facebook. I was looking for it again and I couldn't find it. I thought it was from the New York Times. It might have been the New York Post. I checked both sites and I couldn't find it. But the article was really talking about how wellness is a luxury. And when you think about, like, crystal infused water bottles, like, I can see why, right? The sound baths and the special diets and all these things, it can get really pricey. I attended the America's Mart show in Atlanta in July. For those of you guys that don't know, America's Mart is pretty much a huge mall-sized space of vendors that come twice a year for the big shows, which are home and gifts. And, you know, all of the companies, so everything from, like, Urban Outfit, like, literally every store you can think of, from pharmacies to hardware stores, everybody is coming to these shows to find out what they can put inside their store and at the cash wraps and in their gift departments, etc. And they have clothes departments and all that stuff, but I was there specifically in the kids and in the jewelry department. So there was half a floor the size of a mall that was full of vendors all in the wellness market. This was a section of the America's Mart that was not even in existence a few years ago, right? It might have just been a few people selling, like, you know, the pillows that you wear when you go on the plane and you know, what are those called? Those neck pillows. And, you know, now they're there too with their, like, aromatherapy neck pillows, and the wellness floor had everything in it from, like, holy wood and smudge sticks and CBD everything, right? It was like lotions and foot balms and all this stuff, CBD, and crystal rollers and crystal wands and crystal bracelets, and it was huge. So I know that it's not going anywhere because these people that were shopping in July we're shopping for right now in the holiday season and into next year. And I'll be at the show again in January, and I expect it's going to be pretty much the same thing. The wellness industry is popping. And this is great. I'm very happy that people are looking for alternative forms of wellness instead of just running to big pharma to solve all of our problems, right? I'm very, very ecstatic about this. But at the same time, I just want us to understand that people are selling this stuff to us, right? And so I'm trying to figure out what I want to say really with this, because I'm glad that all of these vendors are adding wellness and alternative wellness products to their arsenal, but it's almost like with the whole like pride thing. Like I've seen it ramp up for a while. I do a lot of trend research for my day job. And this year in particular, everything in the market for this summer was love is love, and rainbow this and blah blah blah, and all the rainbows were everywhere. And that's great. It's great, but at the same time, you have to understand when it's just being done, because these stores want to make $1 off of you. So they don't really care about, all of the agendas and whose rights is what and what's legal where. They're making money when they buy you something that's a rainbow, and you buy it because you like rainbows, or because you're buying it because you're supporting your sister who's gay wearing a shirt, or whatever you feel, right? Or like, hey, you're posting it on IG, God, this is at Express, and now all your friends are like, oh my God, Express is so woke, da 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 da. It's like that same kind of thing. Like, they're caring about their bottom line. So even though all these stores are doing the wellness thing now to try to bring it back on that little, because okay, so to say this, like, and it's great, like, I don't think that it's bad that they're putting the rainbow everywhere and the love is love, but if they're only caring about it for their bottom line, what does it, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter to you. Maybe you're just like, hey, I just want my glitter rainbow crop top for Pride. I don't really care if the company is behind me or not. But then there have been some companies, like I think Converse is one of the real trailblazers, that had been, for years now, doing like every year like a special edition shoe with different rainbow stripes with different artists maybe and things like that. But some people are just jumping on the bandwagon because they're like, oh, we're missing out on a big spike in traffic during the summer if we don't do anything for Pride. So tying that back with the crystals, right? These companies really don't care about wellness. And at the end of the day, you have to question the products that they're giving you, even, because someone could say, oh, this is Hollywood from the this is the next. That doesn't really mean it's genuine Hollywood. And I'm not saying that they don't have quality control and all this stuff, but so I'll let you in on another little secret, okay? My day job is as a creative designer for a wholesale jewelry company. And we have vendors that come to us and say, hey, oh my God, we love this look. Can we get this? This is really trendy. Can you make something similar for us? Can you produce this? And a lot of the retailers, they like the look of the onyx. They like the onyx look, and they like the turquoise look, but they don't really want to spend that genuine, gemstone price. And that's, if you think about it, that's what the mall is full of, right? You have like the trendy teeny bopper stores, and then you have the like medium there, and then you have like the Saks and the Nordstroms and that kind of stuff, right? So I'm not saying like, oh, this is horrible that they're asking for like haggling prices, because that's how they make profit and that's how they stay afloat as a business. So I get it, but understand at the end of the day, they're like, okay, yeah, we can get the onyx look, or I have an example here actually. This is and also, like, obviously, as you can see, I'm wearing my opalite plugs. I have like a little crystal pendant going on. So I'm not saying that I have an issue with crystals at all. But really, it's about doing that internal work first, okay? You could have all the rose quartz. You could have the onyx butt plug and all this stuff. Is really not going to do anything if you don't do that internal work. Like, it's not going to help you, because your body can feel the vibration. You know what I mean? Like, your body can sense stuff. So if your body's just like, oh, well, she's wearing this rose quartz and she's saying she's all about love, but I still feel the hate and the wounds that she's been carrying since she was 5 or 10 or whatever, your body responds to that. That's the vibe you're giving out. You can own the whole crystal shop. It's not going to really do anything for you if you don't do the internal work first. So that's why I really believe that art and nature art, like just supersede buying any crystal, because art gives you that time, that space to reflect. And in nature, you get to, like, really, especially if you're doing the art in nature. In the end of the video, I'm going to give you a list of 10 materials you can use in your art projects that are natural materials. But if you're doing the artwork in nature and grounding and, getting that sense of peace and, okay, I'm here with the creator, all things are good, da da da. It's a totally different vibe than you just put a necklace on your neck because Drake and Sandra's Rose said, hey, my uncle's trying to heal me with stones and crystals, or whatever the deal is. You know what I mean? So, like, it's like tricky, because it's like I have no hate with the crystals, I have no hate with whatever, but it's like I almost feel it's like it would be more powerful for you to do the art, to do the hard work first, through art, especially like for me with Mama's healing. My two pillars for healing are basically based on radical self reflection and radical self acceptance, right? So you can do that with journaling. You can do that with just taking that time to sit quietly and not scroll through Netflix, and just take that dedicated space where you're like, hey, why does this trigger me? What's going on with that? This has been happening for 15 years now. Because, like, as you can tell, obviously, we're going into 2020, right? I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I remember when everybody was freaking out over Y2K. I cannot believe that that is 20 years ago. And it really makes you, like, feel your age, but not like in a, oh, woe is me old way. In this way, like, wow, I can honestly say I would, like, up until this year and even still presently, because I'm by far from perfect, right? Like, was dealing with stuff from like 10 years ago. That's crazy, because you don't realize, because you're just like, okay, gotta do my thing, gotta go to school, gotta finish school, gotta get my job, gotta do this, now I'm married, now I'm this. And you're realizing, like, bro, I've not taken any time to reflect, any time to really work on anything, because I've been so busy. Like, when I get to that next step and that next phase and that next part of the corporate ladder, and but bro, it doesn't matter. Like, what's the saying? I forget, but it's like it doesn't matter where you go, you're still there, or whatever it is. Meaning, like, you can move to different states and move to bigger houses and all this stuff. You're still gonna be with you wherever you go. So it doesn't matter which friend circles and how affluent whoever is, you're still with you, right? So you have to do that work to heal yourself first before you can do anything, especially grab a crystal. Like, if anything, you could do the work and then get the crystals, and maybe the crystals will even work better then, because you've done that internal work inside to really be like, okay, I'm coming from a good place. Because you could hold and squeeze onto some rose quartz all you want for love, but it's not going to really work if you still have a whole shit ton of self-hate in your body, and your body knows. You can lie and fake and fool everybody, yourself primarily, but your body knows. Your body's holding on to it. It can tell. So this is one of my labradorite plugs, right? And so as you can see on this side, I don't know why I'm so like, where's the camera? So on this side is more gray, and this part here, this is a high reflection plug, and I'm pretty sure you can pick up all that purple in it. It's also, it's a little bit harder to see the rainbow. There it is. You can see the rainbow right there. So this is labradorite, and it comes in different grades, just like how gemstones and diamonds come in grades and clarity and cuts and all that stuff, right? And, I'll post the link to the video that a friend sent me a week or two ago that was about how the gemstone industry is booming, right? So there were gemstones that were, a couple years ago maybe selling for $3 a piece that are now selling for like $20 a piece. And I'm just pulling numbers, but I'm just letting you know it's a big increase now because the demand is there. And that's really something. Like, how you read these stories and they're like, people like, oh, the gems, I have to pick the one that resonates with me. And when I walk into the store, whichever one calls to me. Well, how come these gemstones weren't calling to people 10 years ago when they couldn't get moved off the shelf for nothing? Like, the gems were just sitting there gathering dust, and people were walking past them at the trade fairs and all this stuff. No one was picking up these stones. And now, because, celebrities are like, behind it and all this stuff, they're flying. And once again, this is not to say gemstones are bad, But it's just like, think about it before you just jump on the next bandwagon, and before you go and get the sound bath and, start sprinkling charcoal in all your food and all this stuff, which you can totally do. Right? But if it's not in your budget and not in your price range, don't stretch yourself to try to keep up with the Joneses or the Kardashians, right? So use art, bro. You can literally pick up a paper and the back of your receipt and start journaling, start reflecting. Okay? It's a very simple process. It's very intuitive, like I showed you in the art demo earlier. I don't have some like, and then I'm gonna draw this star on this part and this part, and then I'm gonna channel, and Michelangelo did this. It's not like that at all. You're just sitting, you're just seeing what comes to you. Really, a lot of people are using these crystals for. They're using it to raise their self-esteem. They're using it, as a form to promote self-love. But you can do all that because, I mean, bro, the secret's that you already have it in you. It's literally all in here already. And we've built up these walls and we've built up, we've told ourselves these stories. But all the healing, everything we need is already in us. In our broken beings is everything we already need to heal. And that's the beauty of it, dude. That's really the best news, is that you don't need to buy not one more piece of crystal for you to heal. I wear my opalite plugs because it reminds me to, like, I look at it and I go, oh yeah, opalite's supposed to be good for communication and romance. And so I think of these things when I see how the light hits it and stuff like that. But I'm not over here praying to opalite or something, like, no, right? So, but the thing is, that's the same thing with me. I can look at this shell and go like, wow, this came from the creator. Look how perfect it is. And think about what's it called? Let me look it up because I don't want to mess up the Fibonacci spiral, which is, the spiral with the golden ratio. That's found in shells. That's found in nature. And that's the perfect golden ratio. So that's why I'm saying I don't believe you need to go and have a crystal to really like feel the power of the world, to really understand how special you are and how beautiful you are, because you came from a creator, because you're a part of it all. You know what I mean? Like, it's simple, guys. Like, sometimes I'm just like, as I put these videos out, I'm like, am I like really Captain Obvious when I say all this stuff? Because it's so simple, guys. I'm trying to see if I had any more points I want to talk about real quick. Oh, and then the other thing too, going back to the labradorite, right? Because so yeah, these were the high reflection plugs, and they also come in low reflection and medium reflection, kind of like the grade of it, like I was saying with diamonds. I'm not really here to dispute if the low reflection has less of the property values than the high reflection, right? Because if you think about it, it all comes from the same stone. It's kind of like that verse in the Bible, right? First Corinthians, when it's like, with the hand say to the body, I'm not the, wait, no, with the foot say, I'm not the hand, so I'm not a part of the body. Of course not. It's all a part of the same stone. We're all a part of the same people. It's all the same, dude. It's like this universal language, and I think people are getting too caught up in like what grade of gemstone and what's the name of this and the type of this. Everything you have is within you because you're made from the same person same person being that made the gemstone, that made the seashell, that made the perfect ratio, that made the golden ratio. Please believe it's in you. Like, please believe it's in you, right? Okay, so let me just actually share with you a couple of, ways that art healing really does work. Rather than just comparing it to crystals, let me just let you understand how this works. And, I've said a lot in this video. I've actually talked a bit more than I have in the past videos. Let me know what's resonating with you compared to this video, compared to the other ones. This video, I actually, was doing art on camera and getting to speak while creating the art. So it was really more ad-lib, whereas the other video, I kind of wrote out what I wanted to say and just showed little clips of the art process. So let me know how you learn, what you want me to do for future videos, and I'll definitely keep that in mind. But so yeah, so check this out, guys. Art expression and, expressive art techniques use a different area of your brain when you create art than you do when you speak. So this is why you can say something 10,000 times, or even, talk to your big homie or your therapist or whoever about it, and it really not like change anything. because you're still using that verbal place in your mind, and that's the same place where you've told yourself these stories for years, right? So art actually unleashes that. Like when I looked at some of my paintings from 2017, I was literally painting scenes of freedom because I was in a place where I felt really, really trapped. And I don't think you can really get it until you do it for yourself. And it's one of those things like it's almost like I wish I didn't have to explain the videos because I don't want you to go and sit down and go like, well, nothing's coming to me. Because you just have to be in that space of wanting to paint and wanting to create and of honestly letting yourself be free, right? So you're not just going to be able to sit down, okay, I'll give this a try because Kia said so. Like, it doesn't really work that way. It uses a different part of your brain. And so that's why you're able to have these, like, aha moments after years of saying something and saying, oh, I'm so at peace. But when you're actually drawing yourself at peace, it almost like, it's almost similar to, like, for real. Like, if you're reading a child a story and they don't know how to read yet, they're looking at the pictures and they understand what's going on. So it's almost like your brain's like, wow, I'm seeing peace. I'm feeling this because I see it. She's drawing it. I feel more at peace than her just saying really anxiously, I'm so at peace, guys. I'm super peaceful today holding my crystal. I said earlier in the video, you can have a whole shop full of rose quartz. Like if you think about it, so do people that own crystal shops, are they the most prosperous and self-loving people in the world? I mean, now they might be because the crystal industry is booming. But you know what I mean? If it was just up to like owning crystal, then people that sold crystal in stores would be the luckiest people among us, right? And I mean, I think they're just regular Jacks and Janes, so I don't know. Creating art can greatly improve your self-esteem and give you that, dopamine hit, give you that self-love. I was saying earlier while I was creating art in the demo section of this video that you really do feel a self of accomplishment by creating art. I've never created a piece unless I was in a super critical mindset that day where I was like, oh my god, what's this? But when you actually just are letting it, like sometimes I just honestly just play with the watercolors and go, oh my god, like look how that, made this awesome teal color just by mixing this and this. And who would have known that this would have been this? And you know what I mean? It's honestly just about letting yourself play. I think we're beginning to understand how important play is for us as adults. Art allows you that space to do that, where you're not just thinking about your next deadline and your next project and, what do you have to cook for dinner for the kids and all this stuff and what time is practice. It gives you a space to be. It allows you to improve your self-appreciation and your self-confidence. Really, a really tangible step to increasing self-love. In the description of an article that I'm working on for my site where I really deep dive into this subject, okay? Really do want to share those 10 items with you, so that's coming up right now, but this video is a lot longer than I intended it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list the 10 items for you this week, and in next week's video what I'll do is really do the breakdown of the 10 items. Maybe I'll even add a few more and with slides in the whole deal to really make it like a presentation for you guys, okay? And also probably the week after that I'll be doing a video on music and the power of music and how you can use music to utilize your art healing process as well. So if any of that sounds like something you're into, definitely subscribe and then consider hitting that notification bell so you don't fall behind on any of the topics, okay? Cool. Guys, so these are the 10 natural... Okay, wait till I say number 1. Okay, guys, so these are the 10 natural items that you can consider using in your next art project, okay? Number 1. Yoni juice. Number 2. Thyme. Number 3. Star anise. Number 4. Rosemary. Number 5. Bay leaves. Number 6. Turmeric. Okay. Number 7. Coffee. Number 8. Shells. Number 9. Leaves. And number 10, flowers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's it.
Thanks.
Forever.
Thanks, Judah.
Until you call me again. So,
Okay.
are you finished?
Almost. But I have to edit it.
Okay, you're the best.
Thank
Get
you.
that in the video. And
Okay.
don't delete it.
Okay. Okay. I love you. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the 10 natural items that you can use. And a special thanks to my special little guy, right? Oh my gosh, my heartstring. Okay, are you still stuck on number 1? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about all of this. Right now, were you there like, did she say yoni juice? What? The red kind or the white kind? Like, ooh, what is that about? I don't know. That's the word on the streets, okay? I'm gonna have the full breakdown for you guys next week on how these natural elements can really elevate and amplify your art pieces. And yeah, thank you so much for sticking around till the end of the video. And remember, man, I'm rooting for you. Chat soon.